Hello friends, and welcome back to the Windwalker Bee Yard. Today's video is going to be a compilation of a couple inspections I did several weeks ago. And you're watching this, I'm probably doing an inspection, and then it'll be a week before I can get the footage out. I have a full-time job, so I can only do this on weekends. What I'm going to show you today is something I wish I'd done differently. The first bit you're going to see is me going through hive 3, which we called the Spicy Girls. This is their hive. And you can see right now that there are less bees there than on hive 4, which these were bought at the same time. These were nuke boxes. They were 5-frame nukes, which means I bought 5 frames of bees with a queen and put them in these boxes. And the day of this inspection, it had only been 5 weeks since I got them. So it was my fault I let it go so long without inspecting them. I'm not sure what I would have done in the meantime, but let me show you what I saw there, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, first frame, comb drawn, nectar in. Looks like we might have had 1 or 2 larvae. We got capped honey. Got capped honey and nectar. So this is alright. Likewise, on frame 2, we have the beginnings of a swarm cell. If we find our queen, we're going to come back and knock the cap off that bad boy. We don't need to be swarming, unless we don't have a good laying pattern. There's brood, an open queen cell. So, I don't know whether they requeen themselves or what, but there is brood. There's pollen, there's nectar, there's brood. You see in the very top I don't know what that is. Whew, that one's heavy. Can't very well tell if that's brood or old capped honey. Okay. Either. Brood, we got pollen and honey. It's an older brood, a lot of pollen, and nectar. Old brood, pollen, and nectar. Again, old brood. There is some C-shaped larva. Alright, that's the first C-shaped larva. It's pretty big. I think we still have a queen. Yes, we did. We got some fresher larvae there. Some older brood. More queen cells. Another honey frame. And yet another queen cell. And honey. Nectar, nectar, nectar. All nectar. And that frame starting to be drawn out. So they've actually used up all their space. So I'm going to go ahead and give them the super. I think I'm going to leave those swarm cells, or those queen cells, in there. I did not see a queen. I did not see very, very young brood, even though the brood pattern was pretty good. So what you just saw was Hive 3's inspection. I decided to let nature take its course. And in the next video that I post, we'll be getting back in there and seeing what happened with them. Now, in this video, what you're about to see is two back-to-back inspections from what is now 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago. But this was our original hive that came from the feral colony that was in a toolbox here. And it was doing so well that I actually split them. And this is Hive 2, which is our split. In last week's video, we went through that one, and you saw how well they were doing. But Hive 1, which you'll see in a minute, is not doing so well. But stick around to the end, and I'll explain more about that. So you're about to see 10 minutes of me doing two different inspections, frame by frame, comparison from 2 weeks ago and 1 week ago now. Little bit of build out there. There's a drone. There's a little build out on this frame. Sugar water encourages them to produce the wax and produce baby bees. But when it gets to honey that I might want to actually extract, I don't want sugar. Okay, there's some honey. There's actually some pollen in there. I don't want sugar water honey. So any honey that I end up extracting for myself is going to be pure. And it's going to be wildflower honey, basically. See, honey. And depending on how much they do here, I might actually put a second honey super up. This one's heavy already. Wow. It's capped on that side. What I'm hoping is that I see most of this as honey store and not brood. I can already tell that's got honey, honey, honey. We have a flow on. We got a flow on that I didn't want to miss, and that is privet and palmetto. Wow, this one's already heavy. Almost full. That's crazy. And I can see the next one is honey. They're doing a really good job. Honey, honey everywhere. I'm not seeing brood. I don't see any brood moved up in this. I'm not using a queen excluder. Last time I tried that, wasn't too happy with the result. So I think I encouraged them to split or to make queen cells when they didn't really even need them. I'm seeing wax on every frame here. Actually pretty light. I have not got any brood on this frame. Heavy with honey. All right. Honey, nectar, and brood. More brood. A little bit of brood that's hatching out. And it seems like they're filling the rest of the cells with honey. Typically there's some stores and honey on every brood frame. Just because they use it while they're right there. So I'm hatching out brood. Not a lot of new brood yet. Just want to see some eggs and some new larvae. Let me know I still have an active queen in here. I've got plenty of bees. There's no question about the amount of bees in here. This frame's pretty light. Got some brood ready to hatch. There's a big drone. Still got 4 frames left to go, so maybe she's laying on those frames. Plenty of older cap brood still. That looks like it was a queen pup that's being destroyed. If these bees were queenless, I would almost expect them to be a little bit more agitated. Again, looks like some queen cups that maybe these girls are requeening too. The new queen just hasn't started. Okay, today is March 25th. It's Memorial Day weekend, the Saturday of a long weekend. This is Hive 1. We were in here last week, and I checked through the honey super really quickly, trying to do a fast inspection, because it's getting hotter. It's 85 degrees right now at 10:30 in the morning. I'm trying to do a fast inspection. I didn't expect to see any brood in the top box. So in reviewing the video, I saw maybe there was brood on the last 3 frames. because I didn't see any in the bottom box, and I'm worried that they've become queenless and they're going through a brood break. There was plenty of nectar in there and some pollen, but I did not see young brood. So now it's a week later, and I'm going to check to see if we have any brood at all. Or the possibility that there could be a queen, because I'm not going to let it go too much longer, and I'm going to wind up wanting to combine them with hive 2 to recombine them and just make one hive again. But you see the amount of bees coming in and out is just a lot less than our split. So I'm a little worried about them. So we're going to go in and have a look-see. A little build out of comb, a little storage of honey, build out of comb, storage of nectar that's probably about to become honey. I'm just confirming in my mind what I saw when I was in here last. This frame is about to be heavy. They're still storing honey. This is capped over now. There's one of these frames I saw in the video. I'm like, man, I just saw brood on that. And I put it back away. I moved so quickly. Ooh, heavy, heavy, heavy. That's honey. It's honey, but those darker cells, I'm like, was there brood in there? All honey. It's super heavy. If they have a queen, I'm putting another super on there, because they're about to fill that one up. Alright, this frame is light. I see pollen, nectar, nectar and pollen, drone, drone. Frame is again light. Light. Nectar, pollen. Some nectar, some pollen. These look like they were about to become queen cups. Very small queen cups, but nothing was ever done with them. Another, looks like an old queen cup that was never actually used. More nectar, more pollen. A lot of pollen in this frame. There's a bee emerging. That's the last little bit of crap brood that was capped from last time these girls had a queen. It's coming out right there. sets us on a 6-week timer where we are going to have a dwindling bee population. This frame has a lot of nectar, a lot of honey. And plenty of room for the laying queen to come in, but I don't know if I should give them one more week to see if they have a queen or made a queen. I don't see it happening. Just don't know why she would stop laying. This frame is honey, or heavy with probably honey. Probably all nectar. When this colony starts to get weak, they're going to wind up getting robbed. And I think it's probably better just to recombine this hive and that one. Hives 1 and 2 again. Okay, now you just saw what was making me worried. It's one day before I get back in here and see what happened. So, if they manage to have a laying queen, I'll leave them alone. But if they still don't have a queen, I think I'm going to actually recombine them with the split hive. So I'll put a sheet of newspaper up there and a special little shim that I made, and we will eventually make this hive back into one hive. I don't really know what I'm going to do with 3 yet. I could do the same thing. This hive actually had queen cells in it when I saw them. So that's why I decided to let them go. Because if they've made a new queen and she's laying, I can leave them alone. If I don't see signs that she's laying, but I knew there were queen cells in there, I might give them one more week, depending on how they're doing. But I might have to do the same thing, is combine this hive with that one. So, be sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video when I tell y'all what's going on in the bee yard now. Another thing I wish I would have talked about while I was out there was that the thing I wish I would have done is when I saw all those queen cells in the Spicy Girls hive, I don't have the equipment for this, but I wish I would have had a spare 5 nuke box on hand and taken some of those queen cells and tried to make a split off of that hive. That would have given me 2 chances to get a queen, and if I managed to get a queen, 2 queens, then I would have another queen to give to hive 1. And since I did the inspections days or weeks apart, I didn't have that mental clarity. I think if I had done all the inspections at the same time, it might have occurred to me to make that split to have the extra queen. and that would have solved all the problems. Retrospect, hindsight, 2020, I guess. So it's all a learning experience. So we're gonna find out what happens, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.